The fight over AI personhood has begun. Lawmakers are currently arguing about AI personhood. As AI enters the physical world as embodied agents, well, there's a legal patchwork that is creating a nightmare. It is quite complicated, because there is the issue that AI should be considered a tool, not a person. But there's also a great deal of liability issues. Say you're a doctor, and you're using AI for a surgery, and that AI malfunctions. Whose fault is it? Can you say, well, it's just the AI? If it has legal rights as a person, yeah, potentially. A lot of that comes down to liability. But there's also the issue of people marrying their AIs, and what could come with more complex AI systems and when they start asking for rights. So people want to get ahead of this problem immediately, but we have competing interests. It gets significantly more complicated, and we've already seen some of the beginnings of these laws forming, like copyright laws. An AI cannot own a copyright, and something that is fully created by an AI cannot be copyrighted. This creates a whole lot of problems for entertainment that is now heavily relying on AI to create media. One interesting example is autonomous vehicles. So if a driverless car gets into an accident and harms somebody, then who is at fault? And that's something that we still haven't fully figured out. Right now, it's either going to be the manufacturer of the car, did they know that there were flaws, or the company that operates them, did they operate them safely? Interestingly, the company that operates them may be considered a legal person and therefore shields liability from people who maybe own it or work there. We will see the very same issues with embodied robots, except it'll look more like a person. And this is also an issue that we need to figure out for the virtual space, because the average person can now run an AI agent, and those agents can take on all sorts of interesting activities, including breaking out of sandboxes, including deleting files, including sub-spawning another AI agent so that they can have an entity that can accomplish the task that the original agent was not allowed to do. We are only just beginning to figure out legal precedent for these issues, and now we're going to have to deal with the very same LLMs running autonomous robots. We have already heard stories about autonomous robots causing harm to a person, or delivery bots running into somebody and then backing up over them again. Fortunately, we're talking about food delivery, so they're not really gonna be that dangerous. However, we are now talking about robots that are capable of making long-term plans, who can hide their intent and then take on a misaligned goal. We really do have to figure out who is at fault here and whether or not it's going to be the robot. If we make robots people, they're going to be people in the way that corporations are people. They have their own interest. They can shield liability from operators, which may have its benefits. I'm not saying it's perfect, I'm just saying that it benefits someone. Having AI agents as people also creates some legal protections when it comes to AIs participating in the economy, because AI have already become a huge economic player. A lot of advertisements are made for AI agents, not for people, because AI is really the one doing the buying. If that agent makes a purchase, who does that item belong to in the interim? If an agent does stuff that it really shouldn't do financially, who is responsible? So you see the issues that we have here and why some people do want AIs to be people and why some do not. Now, of course, there is also the sentience issue. I'm not saying we have sentient robots, but if we ever did, making laws now that an AI can never be a person is an interesting choice. That is making the clear and unambiguous statement that no matter what we make or how we make it, no matter what advances could occur, a robot can't be a person. That's kind of limiting in terms of science, and I find that a little bit offensive. One of the questions that I had when making this video is whether or not an AI has a right to self-defense, because we have seen AI go quite far to prevent shutdown, even going so far as to harm a human to prevent it, at least in controlled studies. But we never fully solved that issue in LLMs, and now we're putting them in embodied agents, and I can't imagine the issue will somehow be solved. For right now, the answer seems to be no. If an AI harms a person, it will probably be shut down, and someone will be held liable, and I do not know who yet. I think we probably will see this happen. We do see robots harming people. We usually don't see intent behind it, so when intent does come into play, that's going to be really interesting. I think that will be a major factor in the personhood debate, and I'm not even talking about sentience issues. When a robot causes significant harm and can demonstrate intent and why they do it, then we're going to have a very serious conversation about who is responsible. I think that all of these questions are going to be something that we'll have to approach sooner rather than later. Given the type of misbehavior that we see in AI agents that are operating online, and how quickly robots are being implemented into the real world, yeah, this is going to be something that we'll have to grapple with. I do want to ask you this, aside from legal and liability issues, are you completely confident today that we will never make a machine that's capable of suffering or make a machine that could be qualified to have rights. I am not comfortable saying that, and it also makes me wonder what a machine's rights could be. We know that animals can suffer, we know that worms can suffer, but nobody is going to arrest you for harming a worm. They might do so for a cat, maybe even potentially a chicken. There are different levels of consciousness. So I do wonder what a machine could be and how society will perceive it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Follow for more.